Hi, I'm Miss Erica from the Alameda String Academy, and this tutorial is about "Oh Come Little Children," which is number 5 in Suzuki book number 1. Now, this one is really special because we have the addition of a few new skills. In the previous songs, we have had kind of an informal echo of using different dynamics, loud and soft. And even in the last song, it was written in the part. Now we're going to add dynamics. So we're going to talk about a crescendo, which means getting louder, and a diminuendo or decrescendo. Very similar words, similar meanings, which means to get soft. And we're going to talk about how we use our bow to get these different dynamic changes. The other thing that's special about the song is it's the first song in this book that starts on an up bow. So we will coordinate that and with some special string crossings that we have in the first couple measures. So let's talk about the up bow and the string crossings that we have in measures 1 and 2. And we're actually going to work on measures 1 through 4 first. So first things first, I've got my sticky note right in the middle of the bow because that is where I want to start. And this is kind of going to be my guide for the entire piece. I'm going to play around this piece. And you'll notice that the rhythm for this piece is actually very, very similar the entire way through. For the most part, we have long, short, short, long, short, short, or ta, ti, ti, ta, ti, ti. Or another way of saying it is quarter, eighth, eighth, quarter, eighth, eighth, okay? So that's going to put us, since it's a 3-note pattern, it's going to put us in different parts of the bow every time we play, okay? So if we just left out the first up bow 8th note, we would want to be using a larger down bow for the first long note, and then smaller bows for the next 2 notes, and then longer bow again, and then smaller bows. Okay, so if we put this all together with our first note, if we want to start our first long note in the lower half, then that means we're going to start the up bow right in the middle. A lovely little squeak, and you might too, which just means that we need to put a little bit more bow weight into the string as we cross. Okay, now if that feels like a lot to coordinate, then I recommend practicing the hands separately, okay? So the first thing to note is what is happening in our left hand. Our left hand is playing open E and then second finger on the A string, okay? So we really only need to have our finger ready to play on the A string. We don't need to get ready for the E string and then go back because we're playing open E the rest of the time. And then after we have those first 2 measures, then we play D, which is third finger on the A and then first finger B. So we need C, we need D, we need B, and then A, okay? With some E's mixed in, okay? So it would be, if we just say the names of the notes and put our fingers down, it would be E, E, and then C, 2 on the A string, open E, 2 on the A string, open E, 3 on the A, 1, 1, 2. Okay, so our fingers only go down on the A string. Now, the other thing that we can practice, and we can watch ourselves here, we can say E, E, C, E, E, C, E, D, B, B, A, or B, B, C, excuse me, okay? And you could say the numbers of the fingers that you need. So open, open, 2, open, open, 2, open, 3, 1, 1, 2. Okay. So that would be a fun thing to do. And if it feels like it's a lot to do that in tempo, then take away the tempo and just do the notes as they come in succession. Open, open, two, open, open, two, open, 3, 1, 1, 2, and then you can add the rhythm back when that feels more comfortable. Now let's talk about our right hand, our bow hand. And of course, we're always looking for bendy fingers and a nice kind of soft wrist as we play, because that's going to help us to keep our bow straight even when we cross our strings. For this, for the bow practice, I would recommend practicing just open strings without the fingers, okay? And we're gonna start with, I like to skip the first note for a minute, just to practice the down, up, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, up stroke without the extra note in it, okay? So let's just practice that on one string first. Quarter, eighth, eighth, quarter, eighth, eighth. Okay, now we're going to add our string crossings, and let's just note the names of the strings that we play in this rhythm. So it's going to be the E for the quarter, and then A for the C sharp, and then go back to E. Okay, so from measure 1, E, A, E, E, A, E, and then A. All together. Okay, so if that might feel like an awful lot to practice just right there, which is fine. Again, you can take it out of tempo, out of rhythm, and just practice getting back and forth. One of the things that I find really helpful is to pay attention to my elevator elbow. Okay, so I might even put some gaps in between the notes. Whenever I have a string crossing, I'm going to pretend that that is a big giant stop sign. So I have E, and then when I go over to the A, I'm going to stop, and then I'm going to watch my elevator elbow come up before I play. Okay, so here's my E, and I stop, and then I go elevator up, whoop, to the A string until my bow, I see my bow stuck into the A string. And now I'm going to play, I'm going to go elevator down, back to the E. Elevator up, and now I'm in the lower half this time. Elevator down. And then we're on measure 3, so I'm going to go elevator up again to the A, and I'm home free. Okay, so let's try this one more time with the stop signs. I realize this can be super confusing when you first try it. So go your own speed. But here, I'll just say stop in between each one. So we have E, stop, elevator, stop, elevator, stop, elevator, stop, elevator, stop, elevator. Okay, now let's see if we can think about that elevator motion, but in a tempo. Okay, and by now, it should feel comfortable enough that we can try adding the first note of the song, the up bow E, okay? And we're still playing open strings here. So I'm going to start in the middle. And you might notice there that each time I play a quarter note, the long note, I'm making my way to the end, either end of the bow, and so the short notes, the eighth notes, end up either in the upper half of the bow or in the lower half. And that sticky note is a really great way to help me keep track of that. So let's put our fingers back into action here. Okay, so we had open, open, 2, open, open, 2, open, 3, 1, 1, 2. Okay. Now, if this was me, if I was learning this for the first time, I might not even worry about the rhythm. I might just see if I can get my fingers to go down at this, to do what I want them to do at the same time as the bow in any speed, in slow-mo. Okay, so let's see if we can do that. Okay, and a little faster. Okay, good. So you can continue on like that. I would recommend trying it, repeating each skill or each thing that you change. Repeat it until it really feels comfortable before you change or you add another skill on to that, okay? Practicing is kind of like taking 3 steps forward, 1 step back, 3 steps forward, 1 step back, in terms of how much your brain can kind of keep in your head before you add more things. So, and when you add more things, you have this moment where oftentimes all of a sudden your brain forgets how to do something very, very simple, and you need to go back and kind of give it time and space to put the new skills together. So now let's talk a little bit about how we put that first phrase, the first 4 measures, with the second 4 measures, okay? The first 4 measures is mezzo forte, which means medium strong, okay? Forte is strong. It's not just loud, it's strong, okay? The next 4 measures is the same exact notes, but it says P for piano, soft. Piano literally means floor in Italian, so it's going to be really soft, way down here. Okay, so how do we get a medium strong sound and then a soft sound using the same kind of general ideas about how to use our bow? We're going to use less bow to accomplish the difference in the levels of sound. So we'll use more bow, almost the whole bow for mezzo forte, and then we'll use a lot less for the piano. We want to keep in mind that there is a higher point at the end of this piece, in the very last line, when you see one F all by itself, which means forte. That is the strongest dynamic, the strongest amount of sound that we have in this song. And so we want to reserve some oomph for that part. So we're not going to use our whole bow in the beginning of the song. So it's going to look something like this. Here's the beginning. Now, as we progress in this song, we're going to start seeing what's called a hairpin, which is just kind of shorthand for crescendo, okay? And that's the 2 lines that get bigger as they go, okay? And obviously, if they get smaller, then that means that it gets softer. It's a diminuendo or a decrescendo. Okay, so the next part is going to have a crescendo. So I'm going to use gradually more and more bow. When it got softer, what did I do? I used less bow. So one of the things that you could practice in this section is seeing if you can use more and more bow through that crescendo, and then save the last shining movement with all of your bow on that top A where it says forte. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial, and please check out the next clips where you'll get to play through with me, and then another clip where you get to play through with me and the pianist. And then try it with the piano track all by yourself.